you again.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for having me back.
Okay, it helps if you start the correct intro. It really helps. And we had our little plug for Jen with one N. So if you want to go check out her channel, I'll put a link in the description later. Welcome everyone. Welcome Robert. Good to have you back. Tonight
Good
we're
to be
gonna
back.
have a special guest from the UK. Yeah, I'll let him introduce himself. Kojo, tell us who you are and
Yeah,
a
I'm
tiny
Kojo.
introduction.
You could get me on Twitter at Kojo_inevitable. Yeah. So basically, I'm no one special, and I'm just a regular guy with a ton of dreams. So that's the little I can say about myself. And I'm glad to be on this show. Thank you.
Well, we're glad to have you. So we met on Twitter. You're a theist. You're a Christian. Can you can you tell us a little bit about exactly what kind of what type of Christian, what do you believe, and more important, why do you believe it?
Yeah, okay, so basically, anyone who believes in Jesus Christ is termed as a Christian. So I happen to be more open minded about my Christianity because I believe there are so many different fractions in the Christian religion, and I would like to be a little bit offensive to others. So I believe, especially in the Creator. The Creator is also known by Jesus Christ, God, Allah, whatever is familiar with you, it works. It works perfectly. So that's what I believe in. I believe in God, I believe in the Creator, I believe in Jesus Christ, and they are more or less the same to me. Yeah.
Okay. So, but what would interest me more is how did you come to believe it? So, is this how you were brought up, or and I don't know.
Yeah.
I
So,
got someone in the side chat said if I don't know if it's possible for you, Kojo, to turn up your volume a little. People have a little bit of trouble hearing you. So, but
okay, give me a sec.
it's already better, I think. So, but please
It is.
tell us how you came to believing this.
Yeah, so I was raised in a Christian family. My mom and dad, they are both Christians, though they don't always get along, but yes, so I had my fair share of being brought up in the Christian community. We go to church every Sunday. Whenever you're lucky, we go to church on the weekdays too. So pretty much growing up, I had Jesus everywhere I turned. So that's what increased my curiosity about the fact that there are atheists around. You get it? People who don't believe in God. So it made me feel what do they feel that I don't feel? What do they know that I don't know? So it grew my curiosity to seek out their their perspective of things. Do you get it? So I've been a Christian for as long as I can remember, but I became recently really devoted to God because there was this man of God that spoke to me and told me that God really wanted to use me a lot. So what better way to be used than to avail yourself? So here I am doing the Lord's work in any way I deem
Okay, but
possible.
so in all of that, I didn't quite hear a specific reason. And
Yeah, the reason for you to, in my case, for you to worship God is a little bit. There's not supposed to be a reason. There's not supposed to be a reason because when you wake up, it's obvious that there's obviously something more. Do you get it? So I believe everyone is born with that innate kind of feeling, a yearn for something extra, something more. So that was what basically led me to seek God. And every religion on earth believes in a supreme being. If I'm not being too specific, God or the creator or something. So it made me wonder, if there is someone that made everything and made me, then I should serve that person. So that's my reason. I'm serving God because I believe whoever was intelligent enough to create all these beautiful things is worthy of my service. So that's basically why I am a Christian. I
Do you
serve God because, yeah,
do you
I
serve
think
your parents?
is perfect. I serve them in every way I can. I serve my
Do you
parents.
worship your parents?
Yeah, worship is service. So by serving them, I'm kind of worshiping them. I'm giving them the respect that is due them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And y'all gonna have to forgive me. I'm a little bit foggy. I got a massive headache on my side of the story here, but you said that you didn't have a reason
Yeah.
to
And
believe,
yeah.
but I can give you a reason why I don't believe,
And
because
that's
all
okay.
the yeah, and so I'm saying
That's
you're
okay.
the one with the positive claim, but you don't have a reason to
Yeah.
believe.
You know,
That almost sounds contradictory.
yeah, let me address that in a jiffy. Everyone has a kind of a reason why they do everything, right? Maybe your friend is with you because he thinks you are well to do, or he's with you because he thinks you could help him some way, somehow. But when it comes to the creator, I believe he's the creator, notwithstanding my belief. Do you get it? If he's powerful enough to create everything that I believe he created, then I owe him my worship and my service. Me worshiping God, me not worshiping God, it doesn't mean much to him. Do you get it? It's not going to make him lesser than he already is. So that's basically my ideology for worshiping God. I don't basically need a particular reason. Okay, I'm worshiping God because I want to go to heaven. I'm worshiping God because I need A or B from Him. No, it's basically because He's God, and that's why I'm worshiping Him. So there's no particular reason or no agenda somewhere. No, nothing of that sort.
Do you see it as maybe you just saying thank you? Because
Yeah,
if
definitely.
oh,
That
I
sounds
get,
close.
because if he's strong enough, powerful enough to make a universe,
Yeah.
it to me, at least earthly wise, it'd be like a multi-billionaire starting a company and
Yeah.
giving people a job. Now, if you have that kind of juice, and you can start a company and give people a job, but you go to work every day almost expecting everyone to almost grovel and say thank you, you've kind of diminished the contribution you've made to those people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
God
And
made
wait.
an entire universe and everything in it, and apparently one species of ape, and we are to serve him, and it just kind of diminishes the kind gesture of creating a universe, right?
Yeah, let me address that in a jiffy. You see, it's
Try
not
me.
out of yeah, it's not out of a gesture. You get it? Me, I write code. I do a little bit of programming, so I know how it feels. When you sit down and you write code in all its complexities, it's supposed to serve a purpose. You get it? So in a moment whereby my code becomes self-aware and it's like, okay, I don't think I need you, and you creating me was an act of kindness towards me. It's a little bit, I don't know, it doesn't. So, me, I believe that God is God regardless, and the Creator has absolute sovereignty over whatever He made. Do you get it? If I sit down right now and make a little bit, a small robot right now, it's supposed to do what I've purposed for it to do. If it doesn't, I can dismantle it. Do you get it? So yeah, I'm serving God too because He's too big to fail. You get, unlike the billionaire analogy that you made, He's too big to to run out, to go bankrupt, or to lose his power or something. So if you can't defeat them, why not join them? It sounds a little bit reasonable that way. Right now, I'm even moving a little bit away from my theology. I'm focusing on logic because I believe most atheists are logic based. Like they tend to reason logically more than other people. Yeah. So if you approach them with the same old Matthew chapter this says this, I doubt it's going to work. So the best thing is to try to make a kind of logical analogy with my points. And yeah, that's basically it.
It did you say you're moving away from your theology and moving more into logic?
Yeah, because I think that's a language that would seem, most atheists believe that the Bible is a bunch of make believe, right? Fine, and I have nothing bad against them. But if it's not going to be a credible source of information or reference, then we should move to something more, something closer to us. Do you get it? Like logic, like science, like biology and all those things. These are
Right.
that an average person can relate to. So I believe it's a common ground for all of us. Yeah.
Hmm. It's just that when I moved away from theology and started to apply logic, I became an atheist because the two don't seem like they can share
Yeah, common ground.
space,
Yeah.
right? It's when you even said, biology,
Mhm.
just go into the Jesus story.
Yeah.
I don't care. In the Bible, you can get away with that stuff. But present day, if you tell me that a 15-year-old girl got pregnant without having sex, I'm going to call you a liar.
Yeah.
Right? And so, I mean, it doesn't seem like you can have logic and theology in the same sandwich.
Yeah, you can.
One negates the other.
You can. You see, that's the thing that you guys get wrong sometimes. It's not. Sorry about the you guys that I mentioned there. I'm not trying to paint you in any kind of respect.
You're good.
But I mean, the people usually attach that kind of mindset that science and religion are very opposite. Like they can never agree. But I don't think that's the case. Logic. Though some of the things that we see in the Bible are illogical, that walking on water, raising someone from the dead, it doesn't sound possible. But it's only because that sphere of reality is sort of like bending physics. It doesn't really agree with physics. We believe our God has absolute power over every living thing, every living force, gravity, anything. So in the Bible, anything at all is possible. Like whatever, flying, name it, rocket science, everything.
But you're going backwards, though, right? It's if God is supernatural, then you can have pregnant virgins and walking on water. Is that kind of what you said?
Yes.
Okay, well, I say you first need to prove that there's a God. Then, right? Because you'd be absolutely right. If your God was real, exactly.
Okay, so
What's a virgin birth? If your God is real, what's walking on water?
yeah,
Right?
I understand. Okay,
You're,
so
you're absolutely right. But
I think God, the kind of God that we are mentioning here is a little bit undefined. Let's move away from the big God word and let's use an intelligent creator. It's another way I refer to him. He's an intelligent creator. So no matter how you look at things, it's very naive to think that human beings with their complexities in everything, their brain, their nervous system, like everything about a human being is a work of art. When you sit down and write beautiful code or you write a very beautiful program or even anything out of, let's say, talent, let's say, take Beethoven, for instance, his symphonies and all that. It's the easier way out to just say, okay, that was just, anyone at all can do that. That was just nothing. You get it? But it's not, that's not the case. Anything beautiful, anything intelligent has a source, which is the beginning of that intelligence. Like anything intelligent doesn't come to being just like that. Do you get it? Nothing just came out of nothingness.
well, science never said we came out of nothingness, and you don't think this is intelligent design, do you?
Perfect.
This is not perfect. I mean,
that's debatable though, but I don't mind.
I mean, I have. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm far from perfect either. The thing that I would want to say is, you just mentioned it came out of nothing. Uh, I don't think that anyone's claiming that it came out of nothing. Um, the way
Okay.
we are, the way we evolved, we can pretty much trace that back, and we can also trace back. How we got more intelligent and how it served us, and we filled that particular niche in nature, and that's how we evolved to be the human beings that we are today. And so I don't think that needs a specific creator. If anything, the creator here is evolution and natural selection and how that works. That's how we got to be where we are today.
Okay, one thing that made me really appreciate God or my intelligent creator is that when you write, when you understand how algorithms work and all that, it makes you appreciate how a human being thinks, how nature works, natural selection, all these little things. These all these details are not by mere coincidence. What are the odds of finding a planet so close to the sun and yet so far away and perfectly at the same spot that can support life? Do you get it? If you've had a little bit of experience in gambling, everything happens by 50-50 chance. Either it works or it doesn't work. So how many times will a big bang happen in order for it to successfully place the planet Earth at the spot we are now?
That's a
Do you get it?
common. Let me interrupt real fast. That's a very common mistake that you just made. That we are so perfectly set from the sun, right? It's just close enough to ripen tomatoes. I've heard it before. It's not that we were placed here perfectly. We are the result of what happens when the third rock from the sun is X amount of miles away. This wasn't placed there. We are the result of being that far away from the sun. And I want to keep going back to intelligent design. The human body is not intelligently designed. This is crap. And you can laugh all you want, and I dig it. But how many people on the planet wear glasses, even though the eye is perfectly designed? We eat and breathe. Everything happens out of the same hole, which guarantees a certain amount of people will choke to death every year. Again, I have a concussion right now. My brain is vulnerable. This is not intelligent design.
Okay, let me address that too. Human beings, in as much as we've evolved so much, we've made impressive breakthroughs in technology and stuff, but we've not
Yeah.
been even close to develop anything or simulate anything as closely intelligent as the human body. Do you get it? Even the DNA, the amount of data that can be stored in a single strand of DNA is just unless I look at it, I don't want to be told, but it's just like amazing. Do you get it? Just the DNA, and it can store more information than most of the data centers we have today. So it makes you wonder, like, how can all this be as a result of coincidence? I'm a student of
It's
coincidence,
not.
so I know how.
Kojo.
Yeah, but you keep using loaded terms like coincidence.
Yeah, it's not.
I,
If no one puts it
What
there,
you
it's coincidence.
Kojo, what you are
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
in your own words, that is basically the watchmaker argument.
yeah.
I see something that looks designed, therefore there has to be a designer, and that's not how it works. So DNA,
Isn't that logical?
I'm not a specialist on the matter, but so from what I understand, DNA is a bunch of chemicals. Um, the fact that we translate that to a code is just to make it more understandable. DNA is not a code. DNA is just a bunch of chemicals reacting in a very specific way. And so, and when you say how did it come to be this complex? Well, it became this complex over millions of years. It started out very simple. It started out with RNA. RNA has the capability to make DNA. RNA, by the way, can arise on its own. It needs nothing. It just needs the right ingredients at the right time, and it will
Okay.
it will form itself, and
Yeah.
it has done so in the lab. So, and RNA has the possibility to create DNA. So the basic understanding, and there are a lot of people that disagree with it, are, but it seems to be that we came from an RNA world. So from a world where there was only RNA, and maybe life has developed on several different occasions. The only thing is that our particular form of life is the only one that survived. So maybe that'll explain your.
Okay. So basically, it was true or try and error, right? You try this, it doesn't work. You try another one, right?
It
That's how you guys.
that is basically how natural selection works. Something
Okay. So
so
wait, I have just a
every organism is different from its ancestors. We all have mutations, and those who are beneficial will stick. Now, in a human population, that's not going to work as good as it does in nature, because we've uh, we've grown to a population where it will be very difficult for new mutations to develop. There are a few. One of my favorites is in Africa. People are now resistant to AIDS. Um, that's something that uh, that won't spread across the globe much. Uh, and if it
and you
does,
know
it will be
the
really slowly. But so there are humans that have mutated to be resistible to AIDS. So um,
yeah.
and
Something.
Yeah, and
it
before you can pass on, before you can pass on the particular set of genes that carry out the resistance to the A strain, you have to survive and you have to give birth. Do you get
hmm
it? So let's say
correct.
back then during the trial and error natural selection period, if you face an animal, and because of the fact that you faced the animal, you felt fear for the first time, and you claim maybe that's how the emotion of fear came about. Let's say after you felt the fear, you got killed by the animal. How are you going to pass on that gene, provided that you didn't give birth and you died even before you could
I,
you could try to pass on the gene?
I get your point. So this is another thing that isn't understood by most people. So evolution is happening in a population. It is not happening in a single individual. It is happening in a population. So what
And
the thing you just
there's
mentioned,
a lot of
the thing you just mentioned,
the,
fear, it
yeah.
is beneficial to our particular species, because we didn't evolve as predators. We evolved as mere apes, and we had to be afraid in order to survive. So if you see something and you run away, even though it is not a predator, it will make sure that you survive. It will also make sure that your particular tribe survives if this understanding spreads within the tribe.
there's there's this thing that I keep saying. Most of the information that is out there in the world, even in the books and all that, most of them are just suppressed. Do you get it? You don't really expect the government to put out certain kinds of censored information on the out in the open for everyone to consume, because there are some things, believe it or not, it will cause panic if everyone gets to accept it. Do you get it?
I,
So
I
the
don't, I don't,
government.
I don't think that's entirely true. So when it comes to defense and certain types of politics, maybe. But when it comes to science, I
If
don't
it
think
happens to
that
politics, if it
that a
happens to
lot is.
politics, why not? We still have free speech, although, but it's a kind of censored speech. Do you get it? Everything that you think you know is either an idea or an agenda being pushed by someone. So for all you may know, most of the information we have out there is being toned down to a certain degree to keep us in check, to keep us from panicking and all that. And until recently, there has been a lot of development in this heart science and all that. Scientists are trying to understand how the heart works, how the what do you call it, the brain works, how the whole world just lives like a unified organism. Do you get it? And the findings are very astonishing, because we are now understanding through quantum physics and other different areas in science that reality as we know it is not as simple as we think. And someone will just tell me that, okay, so you believe in God, give me proof. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to get you proof. I'm like, okay, here's God in a test tube, or here's God in a box. Let's just measure his readings, his energy readings, and all that. It's not
But
possible.
it should be that easy though,
Yeah,
because
exactly. It's not
no,
supposed to be.
what I'm saying is, and I was a hardcore believer up until 39. I'm 47 now, and I have never heard anyone refer to God as anything other than He, Him, Heavenly Father. You guys are basically describing a dude. It shouldn't be that hard to.
Okay.
It'd be like me saying my dad, my actual father. But every time someone wanted to meet the major, I had some excuse as to why this spirit creature can't be found, and you can't put my actual father in a test tube. If if you guys are going to go with God can't be tested, measured, anything like that, I think you need to switch up pronouns, because if you continue to say him, people like me think you're talking about a guy. And it should be like right now, I'm looking at you over a TV screen. There's no hocus pocus. You're a dude. I'm looking at you. You see what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that
Yeah.
hard to point out
So
a
the
guy.
question that I throw back whenever I get this kind of vibe is that, if science is still in the process of learning, if you are still in the process of development and trying to understand reality and all that, what makes you think that we've reached the point in our evolution that we can completely grasp the complexity of any such intelligent being out there? Let's put the cliche of even a god aside, and let's think of probably some other intelligent life form somewhere that probably planted the RNA in our solar system some long time ago, and through some periods of time we've developed and evolved into complex beings. So if we can't even understand the basics of our consciousness, our brain, how we work and all that, what makes you think that we are ready to completely grasp how vastly advanced this other terrestrial race of beings are,
Well,
or being?
one, we are making advances on how the brain works and consciousness and everything else. And I think you touched on this, but I don't even think science is in the business of trying to prove God, look for God. He's not even a factor.
Oh,
You know what I
and if
mean?
if 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 I may jump in real quick, you said something or someone planted RNA. RNA has
No,
developed.
presumably.
No, wait a minute, wait a minute. RNA has developed on its own without any external help in the lab. It just arises if
You know,
certain chemicals,
when
if
I said
certain,
that,
if oh, hold
I
on,
wasn't
hold
making a
Kojo,
definite statement.
Kojo, hold on. If certain chemicals are present, RNA will form itself. There's no intelligence needed. Just the stuff needs to be in place for it to arise, and that can happen. We've got billions of planets, so on billions of planets,
And you've
that
heard the
that
theory
will
of
spontaneously happen because you've got so many test tubes that it will develop. And I'm pretty sure Earth won't be the only place where it developed. I'm pretty sure that it developed on other planets as well.
yeah, and I'm not disputing that at all. But my question is, even if there are intelligent life forms, what makes us think that we are advanced enough? We don't even understand how our brain works completely. We don't even have a definition for consciousness. Right now, right here, there's no professor on this planet Earth that has a complete, what do you call it, facts on what our consciousness means. You know, when they say someone is conscious, you just wake up and you're like, okay, wow, I'm existing, I'm alive, I'm me, I am. Why don't other creatures have that sense of identity and conscious kind of thinking? You know, most of the creatures in nature are all following their instincts. You get it? Like human being is the only being with a sort of moral code and a set
Oh,
of
that's
laws.
not true. That's not true. I have to stop you, my friend. That's
No
not true.
morality.
No,
Oh,
morality.
oh,
Have
oh,
you ever?
sorry.
No, I got to
Yeah,
lower my voice.
sure.
We are not the only creatures because I've heard the old "why don't dogs have court systems"
Yeah, is it
analogy.
something of that sort?
Yeah, okay. If you've ever seen a National Geographic special on like packs of wolves, they absolutely have a hierarchy. They absolutely have a sense of justice. They have a sense of morality. I remember
But they
watching
are still driven by instincts.
what's that?
Instincts is their primary drive.
And even if that's the case, what makes you
Oh
think we're any different?
no,
Yeah, we are not driven by instinct.
it's not instincts. It is part of evolving as a social species. um, we need to we rely on our fellow humans. Dogs are social species. The domesticated dogs are kept as in a single setting. But dogs came from wolves, which are social species, so they need each other. They need to rely on each other, and the pack is only so strong as the weakest one in the pack. So you need to help out the weaker one in order to have a
You
successful
know,
pack.
in as much as human beings claim to be advanced, to be evolved and wise and all that we call ourselves, we still lack that basic kind of identity, like universal identity. I think that was where we agreed on the other time. We both accepted the fact that whether or not there's a God, whether or not there are other beings out there, whether or not we came to being by just a strand of RNA, one thing we can agree on is we are all human. Do
Yes.
you get it? Whether you're black, you're white, you're pink, you're indigo, you're whatever, you're still human. And so my argument now is that in as much as I believe there's a creator, I believe there could be intelligent life out there. So my question is, how prepared are we to conquer or to face them whenever the need arises? Let's just say hypothetically there's a batch of alien invaders at our doorstep right now. Are we still going to be deciding who has the most nuclear weapons that can destroy the whole planet, or are we going to unite together to fight this common threat? So that's in as much as I'm a Christian, I'm more focused on evolving the human race completely. Do you get it? Because we still have a lot to learn. You mentioned this thing about the dogs hunting in packs and all that. It's basically everything that we see in nature. Even more dumber animals. Excuse me for my use of words. have a sense of unity. People are more united. The creatures are even more united. Look at the ant colony. The ants have designated roles. Okay, you are the soldier, you are the gatherer, you are the what, and they work towards that goal. I believe that's the potential future for the human race. Do you get it? There's going to come a time that I believe we would have to put aside our differences, because either you're going to fight against an intelligent creator somewhere, an alien somewhere, or artificial intelligence is going to wake up and say, okay, wait, I don't have to take this shit from you guys. I'm going to take over. We'll have to, at one point, unite. So the argument about whether or not there's a God is perfect, is great. It improves us to reason and to question things in society, but we have to put aside our differences, because there's coming a time, and it's going to come.
If I may interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask one question. First question is, you believe in God and I don't.
Yeah.
What do you get from your belief that I'm missing?
Okay, so what do I get from my beliefs? An interesting question. Recently I just sat down to pray and meditate. And
keep going.
Yeah, and God spoke to me in a way. It was a very informative communication or conversation. And he drew me an analogy for me to think about, and I thought about it for a long time. And it gave me the basics for my project that I'm working on right now. He told me that, let's say let's say I'm intelligent. Let's just presume I'm intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to admire my intelligence. I want to see the extent of my intelligence. So what do I do? To tone it down, I asked a friend of mine, a lady friend of mine, to tell me what she does, or how she can know that she's beautiful. She told me, oh, it's simple. I just look in the mirror, I just pose a little bit, and I see how beautiful I am. I'm like, great. So you look at your image. Do you get it? You look at your image. So that's what human beings are supposed to get to. If you want to examine how intelligent or how great you are, you create something that mirrors your intelligence. You get it? So that's the case of the intelligent being in this, for instance. So God told me that we are human beings. We are created in God's image. At least that's what I believe. Yeah. Now, God is an intelligent being. So he sat there and was like, wow, I'm all powerful, I'm all intelligent, I'm alone, I have no one around. Why don't I measure how intelligent I am? And people were like, and he was like, are you sure it's a good way to go? Wait, excuse me, this is the conversation I had with him. We were like, okay, it doesn't really sound good. What's the intense back?
Kojo, I have a question.
Let me, can I finish painting that analogy?
Oh, okay.
Can I finish painting? You understand everything? So God sits down and he creates something that looks like him. Obviously not exactly him, but it looks like him. It has his nose, it has his eyes, it has his ears. He's built and all that. It's like, wow, this thing is really nice. But how intelligent is this thing? Okay, let me just play with it a little bit. Do you get it? So that's basically the analogy that God placed on my heart. He was like, people sit down and think they just came to be just by coincidence and stuff, but it's not the case. I sat down, saw how marvelous I was, and decided to make something that looks like me, so that I can just see how marvelous I am. Do you see how it is? So right now,
I don't think you answered the question.
Yeah. This is why I get from believing in Christ.
Well, okay, then let me be a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
Let's just assume we're both at minimum decent human beings, and there's someone making groceries. They need to reach something at a higher shelf. They're shorter than you and can't reach it. I'm assuming if they asked you, hey, would you get those eggs off the top shelf, you would do it, right?
I don't really think so.
You wouldn't help someone who asked you for help?
It would depend. It would depend on
what would it depend on?
No, there are.
Assuming this isn't a mass murderer or serial rapist, and they simply asked you, you see that thing on the top shelf? I'm 4'10". I can't reach it. Would you mind reaching it? It's 2 seconds out of your day. You really have to sit there and think, would you help that person?
Yeah, everyone has his kind of challenges.
Okay,
And
then
something this I think,
I'm gonna interrupt real fast because I'm an atheist and I don't believe in ultimate absolute morals and all that other stuff. If someone
yeah,
asked me to reach something on the top shelf, I would just simply do it. I don't know why this is a hard question for you to answer.
yeah, it's a hard question because
I don't see
nothing.
why.
You see, yeah, because you think it's a nice thing to do to help someone and all
Yeah.
that. All you may know, as you tend to reach out for to raise it, the person tends to stab you. It happens. You get it. We
Okay. I
are.
mean, if that's the case, you should never leave your living room. And you were sitting here talking about almost how we're superior to other animals, but yet here you are and you won't reach something on a top shelf for someone that's shorter than you. So I guess my question is, what are you getting from your God that I'm just getting from being Robert Reed? And you
Okay.
actually hedged on whether you would reach something on a top shelf for someone who's shorter. So I want to know what's the benefit of believing in your
Yeah. That
creator
was what
when
that
your
was the that
creator
was the
apparently is making you hedge on simply doing a 2-second nice thing for a stranger.
yeah, that was what I was trying to paint. When you walk with God, when you believe in God, He teaches you things that are deeper in meaning. Do you get it? Something that would sound outrageous to a normal person or another person or a decent person, as you like to put it. He teaches you to look. He teaches you to look deeper at the deeper meanings and all that. And not everything that we see is as it is. You get it? People don't pretend. People aren't what they pretend to be sometimes. People look innocent, but they are really waiting for you to
Wait,
make a
okay.
mistake before
Then
you
I
stab
have
them.
to ask you this question. If
No,
Jesus was asked to reach the top shelf, what would Jesus do?
that that question. Now I'm feeling you want to trap me with that question, but in as much as Jesus believed in service. You get it?
What would
Serving.
if someone asked Jesus, would you reach that on the top shelf for me? I'm asking you as the believer, what would Jesus do?
You know, I know this is a trap, but I'm going to go ahead and
It's
answer.
not a trap.
Yeah,
Because
it's a
right now
trap.
I'm sounding more of a Christian than you, and I'm an atheist.
That's what you think. And isn't God great?
Really?
Isn't God great?
I simply asked you if someone asked you to reach something on a top shelf that they couldn't. That was 4 minutes ago. You still haven't answered. Now I asked you about your savior. What would he do? And you can't answer that. I find that very interesting, my friend. I find that very interesting.
Yeah, you would relax. You would do it because you think it's a moral thing or it's a morally good thing. Or
Did we lose him? Kojo.
Yeah, he froze. Kojo, I don't know if you can hear us. Your screen froze. Kojo? Yes, something's wrong.
Oh no.
That's a shame, actually.
Yeah, we were doing good.
Yeah, Kojo, I don't know if you can still hear us. Maybe refresh the screen. That usually helps. So, uh, for now, he's gone.
Oh wow.
Uh,
We
I
really
don't,
lost
I
the young
don't,
man.
I don't, I don't think he hung up. By the way, uh,
I don't think he did either. I hope not. It was a rather respectful back and forth, but
I'll I'll see if I can message him on Twitter.
okay.
Yeah,
Excuse
it's
me.
it's so um it's kind of interesting. This is a turn that I didn't expect, and I would really I would have wanted to ask him when he said God was talking to him. How would he
Yeah.
know that that is God? That was a question that was
Yeah.
that I was really struggling with. Um, so okay, he he seems to be on Twitter, so that shouldn't be a a problem. So we'll have to
Okay.
sit back and wait. He saw my message. But yeah, that was something. How would you know that you're talking to God? That would be a question that I would really want
Yeah.
to know and want to hear what his response was. Um, so I'm
Or even his God. What if Zeus was talking to him and not Yahweh?
yeah, or maybe if it wasn't. Uh,
Bad pizza
if,
from
if,
the night
if
before.
Okay, he's trying to get back. He's having trouble to get
Okay.
back. So he didn't leave on purpose.
Oh, I didn't think so. Yeah.
Something happened. I'll let him know. Oops. Yeah. So um, I already got that he's not the average Christian. That's what I already got from the intake. Uh,
Yeah.
he also and this is me talking about the intake. I think he agrees with a lot of stuff that you and I would already agree on. There are, however,
Okay.
some strange things that I can't understand. So part of which we already had is that he thinks that the government is holding information back, which
I didn't
uh,
even know where he was going with that.
yeah, it's so I've heard that before. We can't trust the government. So I don't know. Maybe that's specific to the country where you're from. I know he was raised in Norway, which I think is a
Oh, wow.
pretty open country. Um, I don't think that the government there has much to hide. Um, and if
I just,
there are things that need to be hidden, and now I'm looking at the U.S. It's probably something that has to do with the defense, with the military. But
right.
I don't think that science is holding back anything. And even in the
I just,
age,
the conspiracy talk, the government's holding stuff back talk, it to me, it's on par with arguing is reality real. Even if
yeah,
it's not, it doesn't matter. This is the only one we have. If the government's holding back secrets, it's not going to affect my everyday.
no,
And even if it is, I'm not aware of it. Right? On the top 100 things I'm worried about, is the government lying to me? Is not one of them. It just really isn't.
no,
It's but they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. It just doesn't affect me.
no. And so yeah, it's a pity that he dropped off because I still have a ton of
Is he,
questions actually.
is he trying to get back in?
He is trying to get back in.
Okay.
Damn Russians, he said. He's rerouting
Yeah.
his traffic. So yeah,
Okay.
probably some interference with the internet. I think he's joking. By the way,
Okay.
I don't think he's serious that he thinks that the Russians are interfering with his internet connection.
Well, it's
Uh,
good to know he's got a sense of humor,
yeah.
so it's all right.
Oh, he does have a sense. So I have to. Usually when I do an intake, it's 10 to 15 minutes, and then we're done. Uh, some
Yeah.
people are just interesting beyond the thing that we do on these shows, and Kojo was certainly one of those. Um, so
Good.
I ended up talking for an hour and a half about literally everything except religion because I didn't want to talk about religion until we got on the show because otherwise I ask questions and then I have to ask them again here and pretend to be
Sure,
surprised,
sure.
and I don't want that to happen. So, um, but yeah, I really hope he can get back, uh,
Yeah, so do
because
I. We were getting into some good stuff.
yeah.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, you're
Sorry
He
back.
about
made
that.
it. That's life sometimes.
Okay. Um, Let me see if
Can we pick up where we left off?
Yeah, sure, sure. So you asked me if Jesus was the one plagued with that decision, what would he have done, right?
Simply reach something off of a top shelf.
Yeah, that's why I said it would depend on this scenario because you can't be too trusting. In as much as you're trying to save humanity, you're not trying to get yourself killed by.
Wait,
Uh,
are we talking about the same Jesus who protected the woman who let he who was without sin cast the first stone? Is this the same Jesus who
yeah, it's
sacrificed himself for humanity and he's worried about
yes,
being stabbed for reaching eggs off of a top shelf?
perfect. It's the same Jesus because when he said that he without sin let him cast the first stone. He was trying to teach us a lesson about the fact that we all need saving. Do you get it? So
Right.
Jesus didn't do anything anyhow. Do you get it? He
So
didn't
we all
waste.
need saving, but we don't need eggs off the top shelf. Jesus would not
Yeah,
reach for those eggs.
we don't. When you look at the bigger picture, it makes everything make sense because you wouldn't risk having to fulfill your destiny because you had to reach the top shelf and reach the egg for someone else. Do you get it?
All right,
So
I'm starting to.
it's the bigger picture that matters at the end of the day. It's
I'm
not
I'm struggling.
whether the deed was
Kojo,
good or
Kojo, hold on.
the piece.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling with the danger that you would be facing in a supermarket, just getting someone some eggs. But I want to get back to something that you said earlier, and that we skipped over just a little bit. Um,
Sorry.
you said God spoke to you, and I would be curious
Yeah.
that how did you figure out that that was God speaking to you?
It's just like any other thing that you know. When you have to experience it to know how it is. It's not something like it's special for everyone. You get it. So
Okay,
in this scenario, if you
let
want
me
to,
okay, let me I want to respond to that. Things that you know.
yeah,
So I think you might have checked out our channel. I don't think that you've seen everything that is on our channel. There's one particular show where I talked about an experience that I had where I encountered aliens. Um,
wow,
I finally found out what happened. It was just a combination of a lot of stress, and at some point, your brain just shuts down and shows you pretty pictures in order to relieve the stress. That's basically what happened to me. So, what I saw wasn't real. The moment that I experienced it, it was as real as I am now talking to you. I saw the images; they were 100% real. Except
yeah, and let me
none of it ever happened. It happened in my mind. It didn't
yeah,
happen.
let me address that. I mean, wait, let me address that. There's no what do you call it? Movement of energy that or a kind of communication or any sort of signal that is not triggered. You don't just receive a set of data packets by coincidence. You get it. So even if you saw what you claim you saw, it doesn't entirely mean probably it was a wrong experience or anything. Do you get it? Because scientists can't even differentiate from what is real from what is not real. Do you get it? Our household
Actually,
definition
actually,
of reality is not
that's
what we think.
that's not true because I know for a fact that what happened to me was not real. What I saw was not real. I know that for a fact. I know that parts of it. So parts of what I saw was real, my mind filled in the rest. So, and that's why
And
I'm,
and
but that's why I'm saying, I mean, it isn't just that you know instinctively that something is true. I mean, I can show you something that isn't true. I can do that right now, and you will say it's true, and it isn't. I can give you that demonstration if you want.
let me paint this analogy. And you've probably heard of dark energy and dark matter and all that. Do you know that they feel like the most part of the visible and invisible universe, as you may know it? You get it? Dark energy, there's this percentage. I think it was somewhere a little bit above 20%, and dark matter is a bit about 20%, and dark energy is a little bit about 50% of the total matter or energy in the whole universe. While this is the case, we can't even see or measure dark energy or dark matter. So
Actually, we
when we speak
can.
about reality,
Actually,
reality,
actually,
yeah,
we
no,
can.
wait, no, we
But
can't.
but but no, sorry, but we
There's
can.
no
We
science
can.
that
That's how we know it's there. If we can't measure it, we
no.
we can't know it's
It
there.
was it was. Give me a second. It was dark energy, dark matter. It's still a theory that is being tested. Do you get it? There hasn't been any concrete evidence of it being existed, because dark energy, for instance, whenever you shoot a light beam towards it to try to measure it, or to try to get a feedback from it, the second is there, another second is no more there. Do you get it? That's when you see, when you dive deep into quantum physics, you get to know that um, what we term as real and what you term as not real is just a bit. It depends on observation. Do you get it? So there are these experiments in science that when we conduct them, we make sure that the scientist is very far from the control substances, or I shouldn't say control substance, from the control experiment or stuff, because by typically viewing it, by just trying to view the results, you could contaminate the findings. You could change the outcome of the experiment. You get it? So this is where science has gotten to in terms of reality. We don't have a concrete definition for what is real and what is not real, because even the electrons and the subatomic particles in the that make up the atom behave so much in a very strange way that scientists can't even have a concrete
I
theory to sum up
sorry,
how they all
sorry. I
behave.
have to I have to
Get
I
it?
have to interrupt you because while part of what you're saying is true, I don't think that you grasp the full concept. Atoms are not a secret anymore. We know about atoms. What you're talking about are quarks. Quarks come into existence and go out of existence, and we still haven't figured
Exactly.
that and we still haven't
And,
figured that
and
out. But let hold on. What I'm asking is
yeah,
um, everything science studies is something that they have evidence for. If there is no
when you say
evidence,
evidence,
if what I'm saying is
no,
that
when
if there is no evidence, science didn't make up dark
don't
matter and dark energy. They had
no, don't
evidence.
say
They had evidence
don't say
first.
evidence. Uh, it's too. I don't know. It's not the right word. It doesn't feel right. Evidence is not the right word. You could say it's being backed by mathematical formula and what do you call it? Sort of tests and experimentations. But when you say evidence, evidence is too deep of a word to describe what
It
science is
it's
working
not.
with right now.
It's not. It's not, and that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, if through mathematics you can come to a point where you figure out that there is something that you can't see or you can't measure, that is still evidence. And what I would like to
Okay,
go back, what I would
okay,
hold on, Kojo, wait a minute. What I
yeah,
would like to go back to, if a God exists, And if he like you said, talk to you, then there's a way to measure that. There is a way to figure out if that is actually God talking to you, or if that is you talking to you, because they could check your
That's
they could check your brain, and different parts would light up if
and
the
you know
voice
that's the purpose
if the
of
hold on,
that's the purpose of this
let me finish my argument. Kojo, wait.
Makes sense. Yeah.
If the voice is coming from your own head, we will be able to show that. So the fact that you say I'm talking to God, yes, that can be tested if that is actually God, or if that is just your brain fooling you.
And you would think, wait, and you would think of all the years that we spent on this floating rock, he would pick a time to just say, okay, wow, I feel like I want human beings to measure their brain waves whilst they talk to me. So let's give it a try.
It
What
has
I've
been
already
done.
come to
It has. Hold on. It has been done. It has been done. That
wait,
experiment
no,
has been
wait,
done. We already
perfect.
know.
I don't doubt that. But I'm saying the kind of proof that you are looking for has already been given. You get it? Jesus himself is the image, was, is, and will be, and forever will be the image of the unseen God. You get it? And he came down in flesh. People didn't even believe him.
Okay.
So what?
Hold
No,
on.
no, no, no,
Hold
no,
on.
no, no,
Hold
no, no,
on.
no, no.
Hold on. Hold on. I
God was
think.
God was
Hold on.
still
Kojo. Hold on. First of all,
sure.
you need to know. You need to know my position. My position is Jesus never existed. I don't think he was real. I think.
So many,
I think. Hold
yet
on.
so many,
Hold on. I think
so many
that
different
Jesus.
religions believe
Hold
in him.
on.
So
Kojo, please let me finish my argument.
yeah, I'm listening.
I think the Jesus in the Bible is an amalgamation of different people, and it was mythicized into one person. I don't think that there was ever an actual Jesus. And there's no evidence for Jesus having ever existed. Nowhere. That's my point.
And you know, I don't try to what do you call it? I don't really try to argue with your belief systems. Do you get it? My point is that whatever you believe in is cool. It's very nice that you believe in that. And I'm saying almost every religion or everyone in history has, in a way, some way somehow accounted for Jesus coming down. Do you get it? To die and the whole story about Jesus Christ. So where does that
I
leave us?
disagree. I
It's either
disagree. Not every religion has
okay.
Jesus.
So wait. Do
No.
you think? Okay,
What you're
let's
saying,
just say
Kojo, what you're saying is incorrect. Not
I'm
every
listening.
religion has Jesus.
Yeah. No. Okay, but wait. The two major religions they believe in Jesus Christ. So where does it leave us? Muslims believe in Jesus Christ. Christians believe in Jesus Christ.
Okay, stop real fast. Stop real fast. I will spot you. Hinduism, Christianity is. Please name 10 religions. Not name those.
Christianity.
Take Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism. Take the big four out of it. I want you to name 10 other religions right now. Don't look it up.
No, wait. They're not popular, so obviously I wouldn't know. You get it?
But you just
When I
said most
cited,
religions
no.
believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
And if
When
you
I said
can't
that,
name, but if you can't name them,
Mhm.
if you don't know anything about these other religions, you don't even know their names.
Mhm.
How do you know they believe in Jesus?
I know because I
Kojo,
know. I mean,
Kojo, have
listen, when I
you
say most.
Kojo,
You
all
don't.
the religions. Come on. I
Kojo,
never said all the
Kojo,
religions.
Kojo. One
You
question.
know that.
One question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about Judaism?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do they believe in Jesus?
Apparently, nope.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So not every religion believes in Jesus, right?
But I'm saying the two major religions believe. That's my point. That's the point that you guys don't want.
Major religions?
Yeah. No matter how you want to look at it, there are major religions.
Okay,
There are
stop.
populations by statistics.
I want you to know you have slapped all the other religions across the face. Because every person, hold on, every person who believes in something other than you thinks they have the major religion.
No, major by statistics. So it's not a matter of because he has a religion, it's a major religion. No. By statistics, there are more Christians and Muslims than any other religion.
McDonald's makes more hamburgers in a fine restaurant. Is it a better burger?
No, let's put the
Exactly. So I don't
It's
care
a
about
quantity-
numbers. You just trespassed on. I can't think on what fallacy you
No,
just.
when I
Yeah,
say
that's
opinion,
that's
when I say
that's
opinion,
that's the argument
To
of
sit there and simply.
popularity fallacy.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. To
Yeah,
simply
yeah,
say
right,
that
right.
there's more Christians and more Muslims or more, it doesn't mean jack squat. I've said this before. I can find a million people to say 2 + 2 is fire trucks. They're still wrong. I don't care about your numbers. I'll here's something that me and Peter disagree with almost. I don't care if Jesus was real. I'll spot you. Jesus was real. I'll spot you. He had buddies to go walking with. I'll spot you that he was killed on a cross. You still have to prove he has magic powers. The whole, yeah, if God exists, what's a pregnant virgin to him? You're absolutely right. If God is real, he can make a pregnant virgin. People walk on water. But you have to prove all that stuff is real, right?
wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? What should I prove it with? With science?
Why not?
Science can't
How
even
about this?
prove
How about this?
anything.
Stop. How about this? Why
Science
not?
can't
Why
prove
not? Why
anything.
not? Stop. Why not just prove it with reality? Because right now, I
I'm
don't know
saying
if you can see
reality
it.
is undefined, and I'm saying reality as we know it is undefined, even by the
Yeah,
science.
and you're getting way too deep on a very simple topic, my friend.
No, you want me? Wait. Let me.
No, you want to go into quantum this and quantum that and electrons and atoms,
Mhm.
but it's not necessary.
It's necessary.
If I asked you,
If you're arguing,
if I asked you if yellow and
science-
blue make green, the answer is simply yes. We don't have to go into quantum colors. We don't have to do all these backtracking and backflips. I'm
No, I
simply
thought
asking
you're
you to
the ones-
prove.
wait,
I'm
aren't you
simply
the ones
asking you to
asking for
prove, does a dude exist? I'm asking you to prove, does magic? Did Jesus Christ come back from the dead?
Yeah.
Okay, by any other standard, that's called magic. The defiance of natural law.
And you want me to prove it, right?
I would love for you to prove it. You would convert me to
Exactly.
Christian. How about this?
Exactly.
You could go on Twitter, social media. I am sitting here. If you can convince me right now, I'll believe you.
You know, you should understand my basic goal isn't to get you to be a Christian. So let's just be guided about.
How about this? How about just show me? Don't convert me. You don't get a free set of steak knives.
So let's
Show me that Jesus was real.
Let's begin. Now you're telling me. Let's wait. Just let me speak, okay? Just give me.
I'm listening.
Expand on my. You're telling me you want me to prove God, to prove how real He is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now to prove God, you have to come up with probably some theory, some kind of evidence, as you'd like to put it, and all that. Now, what body of knowledge do we fall to in terms of proof that will be accepted? Science, right? Great. Now, this means science is telling you that reality is a little bit ununderstandable right now. So, do you think I can just and show you something that is probably whether real or not. Science cannot even prove that it's real or not. Like, what basics are we going to judge the proof on? That okay, he says this is the proof, so according to science standards, it is true. According to blah 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 standards, it is false. What basics are we going to judge our proof? That's my question.
Reality. Like right now, and
And
I'm
I'm
not
saying
hold on.
reality.
And what I'm saying, and again, you're getting super deep when it's not necessary. I
It's
can't remember what
necessary.
no, I
You know,
can't remember what the word is.
I'm
Hold on. Please don't yell in my ear right now.
All right, sure.
There's a word, there's a term for when a word with 2 syllables will do, and people reach for the one that's got 6 syllables. Right now, you're trying to get way too deep. I'm looking right now at a picture of my father, and if you doubt it that the major was real, I would go over there, and I could show you a picture of my dad with me standing next to him, the strong family resemblance, everything. You're again, and my suggestion to your side of the fence: stop using words like him, father. Stop using masculine pronouns because you're describing a dude. And so, for as long as you describe a dude, I'm going to ask for a proof of a dude. And it's not that hard to prove a dude. It just really isn't.
You want me to prove that something is real or not? Science can't even prove or define what is real or what is not real.
Science gives
what are you
us
going to
answers on the best available information.
Great.
They're not saying what's right
What do
and
you
what's
think?
wrong.
Okay, wait. So
What
how
I'm
do you think-
saying is, for thousands of years, Christians have claimed there's a God, and you haven't even scratched the surface of even beginning to show us. And the people who convert,
sure. If
all they
there's
do
such-
is continue to repeat
if
the
there's
same
such a God-
fallacies. What's that?
if there's such a God, what proof do you think? If there is such a God, what makes you think that you have the right capacity to even measure his reality, how real he is? If there is such a God,
What makes me
what makes
think
you think that you are ready to yeah, because you're the one asking for the proof.
that I'm ready?
It's very naive to think that it's very naive to think that you're not even understanding how your brain works, yet you want me to prove something.
I don't have to.
Or the one that
I don't have to understand how my brain works to realize that a Jack Russell Terrier just walked across my floor. I don't have to understand exactly how my brain works to realize I'm looking at you on my screen.
And you know this. I had the same. Yeah, and I had the same issue. I had the same argument with another guy, and I just asked him one question, and he hasn't given me a reply since. I told him reality is a relative kind of term. Do you get it? What may be real to you is not real. It's not the same that is real to another person or another animal or something. Let's take a cat for instance. All the cat knows is he wakes up, he goes to take a dump, he gets his meal, he eats, just lazy around and stuff. But what is real to the cat may not be real, may not be the complete picture.
That's not true.
Obviously, there's more to life, and there's more that exists than just what the cat knows. But the little piece of reality that the cat experiences is his reality. Do you get it?
No,
Now,
reality is reality.
We have all this technology and all that. We know that there are other planets aside our planets. But to the cat, you cannot completely explain the concept of multi-planetary systems to the cat because the cat will never understand. Do you get it? The cat's reality is based on what he can see, what reacts to it.
This is a bad analogy.
And it's cool.
This is a bad analogy.
Okay, no.
It's a perfect analogy.
Let's run with this analogy. If that's impossible, then hold on, Kojo, hold on. Hold that thought. If that's impossible, then how come you know? Who explained it to you?
Yeah, if you know, it's not a matter of. It's not always a matter of someone converted me. No, I believe in this. There's this concept in Christianity that called God only brings people that He wants them to come to Him. If God wants you to come to Him, He will call you to come to him. Do you get it?
But
He
that
doesn't just
wasn't
ask
my
everyone to just come.
listen.
No.
That wasn't my question. You say you know God exists. So, someone has explained it to you in a way to convince you that this God exists. Yet you say it is like us
No,
explaining
no,
it
no,
to
no,
a
no, no,
cat.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
It's
No
like
one
us
ever,
explaining
no
to a
one,
cat that another planet
no, no one,
exists.
no one,
So
Good
how
point.
can you know that God exists?
yeah, no one explained to me. Yeah, because he approached me. Do you get it? He came to me. I didn't go to God. No, you can't go to God without him asking you to come to him. That's not how it
So
works. You don't just get up
why
and you're like,
doesn't
oh,
so
I
okay,
want
so
to go to
why
God
doesn't
for.
God come to me? What did I do wrong?
Yeah. No, it's not. No, it has nothing to do with you. Do you get it? Let me make
No.
It
another analogy.
has.
It's
But it has.
God is the one. Yeah.
Kojo, it has because God
I want to. I
doesn't.
want to. I want
God
to.
hasn't revealed
Yeah. No, I want
Himself.
to explain. I want to
Ho-
explain why you're asking
Hold
that
on,
question.
hold on.
When God. When.
God hasn't revealed Himself to me. Yet here I
Okay. Sure.
am. I'm doing a show on this. I want Him to reveal Himself to me. Why doesn't He do that? Why does He do that to you? Why am I left out of all of this?
Yeah, that part is based on his discretion. Do you get it? I don't get to choose who God wants to come to him, who God doesn't want to come to him. Do you get it? I'm even against the kind of perception that it would be cool if everyone knew God. Do you get it? But obviously that isn't the case. Do you get it? So I'm not all out in the bid to just get as many people to believe in God as possible. That's not my mission. My mission is to make people understand God more. Do you get it? To make him a little bit more friendly to their understanding than it already
and
than
that
he already
and
is.
that
Do you get it?
that
God is
is
the one that
that is
chooses. It's
really
like
nice. Hold on, that's really nice of you. But why would you do that if God thinks, hey, Peter from Holland, he doesn't need to know me. I don't want him to know me. I'm going to hide from him. I'm going to. He's.
You're missing a bigger question.
I'm 57 now, so I'll probably die without knowing God, and that's not my fault.
Say it.
That's His fault.
Can I ask a question? I have to ask a question of you.
yeah, sure.
Do you believe in a heaven or a
Yeah, sure.
hell?
Definitely. Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you realize the hot steaming pile of monkey crap you just stepped in when you said that? He wants,
Well, could you
he
come
only
again? I
choose.
didn't really get
Your
that.
God is being very picky then, because Peter's 57, I'm 47,
Yeah,
and there's a very
of
good
course it's
chance. But hold
picky.
on, there's a very good chance
No,
both he and I are
I'm not
going to
even going to
die.
deny that.
Hold on, stop. There's a very good chance both me and Peter are going to die without finding your God. You some way made the cut. You're special enough to where God spoke to you. You've accepted Jesus, so you get to go to heaven. There'll be no pain, no crime, no crying. Me and Peter are going to be tortured forever because God chose not to choose us. Now, your God, we said this 90 minutes ago, or you said it, because he created everything, you're serving him because he's worthy of that. He's also choosing to torture
Yeah.
me and Peter forever. You really want to serve a guy who would do that?
No, it's a choice.
No, it's not a choice.
It's not a-
No,
explain
does
that.
God have a plan?
Okay, wait.
No, does God have a
let me explain
plan?
that.
I'm going to give myself a headache because I'm going to talk over you.
Let me,
Does God have a plan?
all right, sure. Let me just let me
Does
just
God
explain
have a
that.
plan?
Okay, so this is how it. Yeah, let me. No, I'm going to address all the questions that you put so far.
Kind of
Now,
yes
let
or
me
no.
say this thing. When God created man, he envisioned for man to be much better than we are now. Do you get it? So we are
Yeah.
kind of living in a fallen
Fallen state.
generation,
Yeah, Adam and
or something
Eve
of that sort.
I
It's a
disagree.
fallen
failed the test in the
Yeah,
Garden of
fallen
Eden.
I
Now the perfect.
I already disagree.
Yeah.
He didn't intend to create us better.
Wait, could you let me finish?
Okay.
Could you let me finish?
Okay, go ahead.
Could I be giving the
Yeah, go ahead.
just the
Go ahead.
benefit of the doubt so that after I'm done, your question? Okay. So when God when after what do you call it? Man sinned and everything that happened. Now God still wanted a way to bring man to Himself because He made us, and there's no way He would be happy to see any of us perish or anything like that. So
I know the
he
story.
devised the plan. Do you get it? He devised the plan. And you know, God the Father, as I believe, He's too holy and too perfect and too righteous to go against His own words. Do you get it? He's just too perfect for that. He can't do that. Do you get it? So according to His law, the penalty of sin is supposed to be death. That's why Jesus came to take that place so that we don't. So you know, right now it's very quite simple. Anyone at all can be saved. Do you get it? So I don't agree with the fact that you said that I'm special and I'm born again because I'm special. No, it's not like that. You know, anyone at all could be born again. Anyone at all could be a child of God. But it all boils down to you. Do you get it? In as much as
Okay,
God has
okay,
the
hold on,
deciding factor on who-
hold on, Kojo,
who
hold on,
gets to
hold
go-
on.
yeah.
What you're doing now is preaching, and I'm sorry, I
Took the
didn't.
words out of my mouth.
I didn't say that in the intake.
No, that's the only other way.
Hold on,
That's the
hold
only
on,
other way I can explain.
hold on. Let me finish. That's the part that we don't allow on this show because there are a ton of shows where that's going on. So I want to respond to what you said so far. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. You said God has a plan. I have a few simple questions for you in order to make a point. Do you think your God is all powerful?
Okay, sure.
Do you think your God is all powerful?
No, do I think? I know for a fact.
Okay. Do you
Yeah,
do you think?
without a shadow of
Okay,
doubt.
okay. Do you think your God is all loving?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So your God had the ability to create a universe with perfect people who would do nothing wrong, who would be better than we are today. How come he didn't create that universe?
He did.
He didn't.
He did.
He
We're,
did.
we're
That's the
here,
simple-
aren't we? Are
yeah,
we
he
not?
did.
But we're here, are we not?
Yeah, and we're here. No, you know that's why I don't blame the sinful nature of man on human beings. It's because we are not the ones to blame for this fallen state. Do you get it? We are not the ones
Who
that
is to blame? Okay,
caused
okay,
everything
okay,
that we
okay.
see,
Hold
that
on,
was
hold on,
initiated.
hold on. Who is to blame?
We all know. You know, this question, it almost feels like a trick question. You all know
It's
the
not.
ones to blame. I don't want to sound too preachy because that's what
No,
you
no,
guys,
no.
say
It's
sometimes
but
I sound too
it's
preachy.
it's a genuine
So
question.
I'm just
It's
guessing that we all know.
hold on. It's a genuine question. You said humans are not to blame. Okay, so who is to blame?
You're the devil. The devil is to blame.
And who created the devil?
Can I jump in on this one?
Who created the
Yeah.
devil?
God created everyone, including the devil, everything, good, bad, whatever you think there is, God created it.
Then why is he not to blame?
Then he is to blame.
He's the Alpha and the Omega. He was the first. He was everything. He still is everything. How is it that you don't
Yeah,
shoulder
because
him
God
blame?
is God. Yeah, because God has a plan.
Okay,
Yes.
stop.
And people think
Hold
what
on,
happened
stop.
is- yeah.
Stop real fast. So I asked you about God's plan. So if that's the case, God knew that me and Peter would be atheists because it was within his plan. He's all powerful. He's all knowing. And this is where Christians paint themselves in this corner, then try and backpedal themselves out. If he knows that me and Peter are going to go to hell the moment we were conceived, not even born, then the choice is out of our hands. I say the same thing every time. If I leave my house tonight and get T-boned, I actually flipped my car Monday night because my brakes failed. That's why I have this concussion and I can't see straight. I could have died that night. I could have died an atheist right there on the fucking spot. And I would have gone to hell because that's within his plan. I don't have a choice in the matter. Right? The devil, according to you, creates all evil. But God created the devil, knowing in advance that's what Lucifer would do. God is to blame in this story. God is the villain.
No, God is not the villain. God is the creator. You know,
no, I don't care if he's the creator. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if he's the creator. If he created everything we know, if he created Satan to create evil, he knew in advance. So I'm going to say me flipping my car was fucking evil. Landing on top of my car and having 10 people pull me out was evil. I have a splitting headache. I can't see straight. That's evil. Satan created that because God allowed him to do it. Am I right?
Excuse me. Could you come again? I didn't really get that.
Bottom line. If God has a plan and God created Satan, and according to you, you just said it, Satan does the evil stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. He knew in advance. Take me out of the equation. There was a stabbing death on a college campus just last night. Satan did that, or did God do it? A 13-year-old a 13-year-old stabbed a college girl to death.
You don't let me finish.
Because you're not answering the question. I'm trying to get a yes or no.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Whenever I try to answer, you guys just interrupt me. You get it? When I start making
then go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so yeah, you guys, no interruptions for a second.
Go ahead.
Just explain everything. Okay. So obviously, God created everything. Do you get it? When you say God created good and evil, I don't dispute that fact because it's partially true. And the reason for the confusion is that when God created man, he gave man a choice. Do you get it?
No, I don't.
And man chose to give up. Wait, you just hear me out. And man chose to give up that power to the devil. Do you get it? He chose to give that status that he had initially to the devil. He gave it up to the devil because he wanted he wanted the devil's plan for the world to come to fruition. So man basically gave up his authority to the devil. And as a result of man giving up his authority, we now have what we have today. So if you see someone going about shooting up people at Walmart or wherever, that's a result of man's initial blunder. Do you get it? You know, when we say sin is not, sin is not what we paint it. Me, I have a simple explanation for sin. And trust me, sin is not what you guys think it is at all. Sin is basically distrusting God or placing something before God. That's
transgression of God's law is the definition of sin.
No, wait.
Yeah. That's actually the definition.
That's not my definition of sin. Sin is you have
real fast. We lost him again. God damn it!
To make a choice between God and something.
Okay, there he is. Real fast, and I'll let you continue. And I apologize. I don't think I explained this at the top of the show. You're talking to a former fundamentalist. I was a hardcore Bible thumping 6-day creation literalist. I was the people you see on the internet right now. And so let me say this about the interruptions. And I kind of, sort of, but not really apologize. The reason why people like me apologize because when you start talking about certain things, it's because we've heard it before. It's because I was born and raised in it. And so when I interrupt, it's because I'm trying to let you know I've heard this story before. So let's take a detour and go somewhere else. Please continue.
Yeah. So when man gave up his authority to Satan, God came up with a plan to restore man to himself. Now,
can I ask a quick question on what you just said? Can I ask a quick question on what you just said?
This is the explanation that you demanded.
Probably not.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
It's you keep using the word plan. If God's plan was to restore human beings, it was also his plan for man to fail. Am I right? Because you can't have it both ways.
Nope, that's not
okay.
True.
So it wasn't within God's plan for Adam and Eve to fail in the Garden of Eden. Was it God's plan for Adam and Eve to fail in the Garden of Eden? I actually need you to answer that question.
It was, God. Yeah, and I'm going to answer that question. It was God's plan that Adam and Eve would trust him enough not to be tempted to eat the fruit. But that's not what happened, because Adam and Eve were given a choice, and they chose the latter.
But was it in God's plan for them to fail?
No, God doesn't.
So, but you just said it was God's plan for redemption. So how is it you're splitting things? If it wasn't God's plan to save us, but it wasn't God's plan to fail.
If you don't allow me to listen, if you don't allow me to finish chronologically, you will just mix up my words and create a whole lot of confusion. Do you get it? I said initially God gave man power and authority. Do you get it? And he gave him a simple rule. He just gave him everything else. And he said, don't eat of this fruit. It's very simple. Don't eat it. I'm
going to come back to that. Go ahead.
He had in his plan that there would come he had in his plan that there would come the right time for Adam and Eve to take of the fruit. But it was not just the time yet. Do you get it? So when they were tempted to choose between obeying God and disobeying God, they chose disobeying God. And that was when they placed human being under bondage. Not just human being, the earth, everything we see and all that. We placed everything that God had created under bondage, because man was the initial caretaker of all these things. Do you get it? So God sat down in his wisdom. He was like, no, the initial plan that I did, the initial trust that I put in man has been betrayed. So now the best way to bring man onto myself is to
quick interruption.
Man an image to look up to.
Quick interruption.
That's why when I started this whole conversation, I painted.
Kojo, quick interruption. Is God omniscient?
Yeah.
Is God omniscient?
Yeah, he's omniscient.
So when he created Adam and Eve, did he know what they were going to do?
He knew it was possible they would fail him. That's my simple
So
answer
he's
to
not.
that.
So he's not omniscient. He's just kind of omniscient.
I said he knew. Listen. He knew, because it's only there's only two ways around it.
It's a simple It's a simple yes or no question. Either It's a simple yes or no question. Either he knew or he did not. There's no in between.
And I'm saying he knew man had the potential to obey him, and he knew man had the potential to fail.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Let me just
takes God by surprise.
hold on. Hold on. Let me get this back to you to see if I understood what you just said. God did not know what Adam and Eve were going to do. He only knew that he had a potential. So God is not omniscient. He doesn't He can't see in the future. That's what you said. Correct?
Look, let me. I know where you're driving at. No, let me just correct you on that one. God, you see, this future past thing is all just they are concepts that relate to human beings and this dimension. Do you get it? God lives somewhere outside time.
How do you
Do you
know?
get it?
How do
If
you
God was
how
bound by
how
time,
do
do
you
you
know?
think he'll be all
Hold on,
powerful?
hold on. How do you know
I know
this?
because I know.
No, you don't know.
How do you know you are Peter? You
Do
know
you know?
because you are
Okay,
Peter.
I'll tell you.
Do you
I'll
get
tell
it?
you.
I do know.
Hold on. I'll tell you what knowledge is. Knowledge is what you can demonstrate to be true. That is knowledge.
That's not knowledge.
Yes,
That's not
that
knowledge
is
to
that
me. I'm
is
sorry.
knowledge. That
I
is the
disagree
It
with that.
doesn't matter
definition.
what you think knowledge is.
That is the definition of
I disagree
knowledge.
with that.
What you know is what you can demonstrate to be true. If you cannot demonstrate something to be true, you do not know this. You can't be certain that it is actually true. So you can't know it by definition. That's what I'm saying.
You
And
know,
I'm
let me tell you something.
I no, this is
Just like
I mean,
you know, everything boils back to what do you call it? Perspective. Did you get it?
No.
If you look with the magnifying glass, if you try to analyze, let me just finish on this one. If you try to analyze the stars with a magnifying glass, whatever you would see is real. Whatever you see is there, perfect. But when you look with a big telescope, you also see something nice. But when you go ahead to look with these very huge telescopes that span like an entire skyscraper and all that, you would really see what is there. But it's only just a picture. You get it? So it all boils down to perspective. It's okay for you to think that God is not all knowing. It doesn't change what He is. Do you get it? Your views on God doesn't belittle what He is because He is not affected by anything that we think we know or anything that we think we do. Because God said explicitly in His word that my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. So whatever you think you know doesn't affect God because He's God. He wouldn't be God if He was not all powerful. Do you get it? There is a reason you don't just stand up and become all powerful. There are some things and there are some levels that you have
So
to
God's
reach
all
before.
powerful?
Yeah, God is all powerful,
Is God
all
all
knowing,
loving?
omniscient, and He's sovereign over
So he's
all
the
things.
omni package, right?
Yes, He's all loving.
Okay,
Everything.
great. So
Yeah, He's everything.
okay, I got it. I got it. I love my dogs. I've got two
Yeah.
dogs right now. There's nothing I wouldn't do. There's no amount of money I won't spend to help them or save their lives. And I'm just me. Your God is all powerful, and apparently He's all loving. But He's going to watch me and Peter burn in hell and be tortured forever. Now, He can
I said it's a choice.
find a way
It's
to.
a choice.
No, it's not a choice. And I'm not even going to ask you. I'm just going to tell you. It's not a choice. Just like Adam and Eve was not a choice, simply based on
It
the
was a
fact that
choice.
no, two things. One,
Adam and Eve
you have
chose.
said stop. I let you talk. Now I'm going to talk. Two
Okay,
things.
go ahead.
One, you keep saying God has a plan, but then you keep contradicting God's plan. The other thing is, again, you're talking to a former fundamentalist. There's nothing you've said that I haven't heard a million times before. Adam and Eve did not have the knowledge of good and evil until after they ate the fruit. That's not up for debate. It's not up for debate. It's no different than putting a loaded pistol in a baby's crib and telling that baby, don't pull the trigger. Now, when the baby pulls the trigger and hurts itself, God forbid, even kills itself, you don't blame the baby. You had two, and the debate is they were teenagers, they were infants, they were 30-year-olds. It doesn't fucking matter. You've got two people that don't know the difference between right and wrong, and your God gave them a right or wrong decision. How do you not put the weight of the blame on your God's shoulders? He
Because
told
it's not.
two
It wasn't.
infants, don't do something, would you blame your child who is 1 year old for hurting themselves after you put them in the shitty situation? Is it the kid's fault or your fault?
Okay, let me give you the
No, no,
answer
no, no, no,
that
no
answer
analogies.
all
If you
questions.
put a pistol in your 1 year
It's
old's
not an analogy.
crib,
It's not
whose
an
fault
analogy.
is it? I need you to answer that.
It's the answer. It's the answer that I give to every question that you have to ask me about Christianity. We were made.
I got it. I
Just
need you
to
to
please
answer the
God.
crib
Yes.
analogy. Whose fault is it for putting a loaded pistol?
Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second.
I'm giving
let me
you.
finish.
Where's my timer?
We were
You
made-
have 60 seconds to answer that question.
No, don't put don't time my answer because it's not going to work. And all I have is just a simple analogy. I'm telling you that, listen, God created something. He didn't consult you before he created Adam. He didn't consult any alien before he decided to make the earth. So why do you think he has to consult you to decide what he does with what he owns?
Okay, now I have to interrupt.
You have not answered the question. I want to know about the 1 year old. If you put a pistol in a 1 year old's crib, whose fault is it?
Yeah.
Robert, let's
Yes, sir.
Let's stop for a
It
second.
doesn't matter because it's just
Kojo, stop.
Yeah.
Kojo, stop. Robert asked you a question. I think you don't want to answer the question, and I also think that I know why you don't want to answer the question. But at least give him the courtesy of saying, I do not want to answer that question. Because it is a simple question.
Oh no, I do have an answer to your question.
Then don't talk about something different. Just give him the answer.
It's not.
Thank you,
It's
Peter.
not. Listen, it's not a matter of. It's not a matter of. This guy is to blame. This guy is not to blame. No.
I know
Whatever
who.
happens, whether we like
Okay,
it or
okay.
not,
You're not
just
Kojo. Kojo, stop. You're
Listen.
no. You
To God-
stop. No. I asked you to answer the question. I'll give you a different one. According to the Bible, who created evil?
No one created evil.
Isaiah says differently.
Yeah, the Bible says different.
Okay, quote me on that one. Could you give me a reference?
Isaiah
Could you give me a
45:7. I create all things good and evil because I am the Lord your God.
Great.
Beat me to it.
When you say create, what do you mean by create?
Exactly that.
You could say for
What
instance.
what did
Listen,
what
you
did
could
God?
say
Kojo,
that,
we are
Kojo.
veering off the
something-
original question.
Listen, no.
Kojo, this is
Listen,
this
you
is
guys
your
don't allow
this
me to
is
answer,
your
so what do I do
Kojo,
now?
stop. This
When
is
I attempt to answer, you
Kojo,
guys
stop.
just go ahead.
Kojo, stop. This is your Bible. These are the words from your God. I created evil. Those words are in the Bible. That's not us making it up. I can show you the verse.
Wait, give me the yeah. Give me the verse again. Let me just look it up one.
Isaiah
1 second.
45:7. Please tell me how I'm taking that out of context.
Yeah, I would like to know that too.
But you still haven't answered my
Isaiah
original
was
question
first.
about the baby. I
My answer
don't know
to
why
that
that's
is
so
that
difficult.
God decides. Listen, God decides to do what He wants when He wants. And
So
no one
that's
can question
might
Him
makes
about
right
anything
then.
because He's
It's
God.
might makes right. Right?
About His what? His what makes.
So
What did you say?
what you
Might
are saying? What you
makes
are
right.
saying that God is
Because I'm strong
God,
enough.
God is malevolent. God is malevolent. He created evil on purpose to torture us. He created the devil on purpose, knowing full well what he was going to do, to torture us. That is literally what you are saying. You might not realize it, but that is
No,
what you.
listen.
You might not realize
Okay, sure.
this is what you are
I'm
saying.
not. Uh-huh. Yeah, listen. Do you think darkness is bad? you think darkness is bad? That's a simple question I have for you right now.
Wait, why do I have to answer your simple question when you won't answer my simple question? Is my question.
Yeah, I'm saying, do you think darkness?
No. You know what? I'm not going to give you the courtesy. You know what? No. I asked you a simple question. I don't know why I have to answer yours, but you won't answer mine. If you put a pistol in the crib, stop. No, you have not answered. I don't think you've answered a single question. I asked you if you put a loaded pistol in the crib of a 1-year-old and told that 1-year-old, don't pull the trigger, and that 1-year-old pulls the trigger, you should please continue to laugh. You're an adult. You know better, but you did that to that kid. I'm asking you, whose fault is it? Is it the kid's fault or your fault? What's that? It's nobody's fault, even though you put the loaded pistol. I'm giving myself a headache. You put a loaded pistol in the crib of an infant, and the infant hurt itself, but it's not your fault. This is no different than your Jesus not reaching fucking eggs on the top shelf. I just want you to know that.
It doesn't. You see. Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You're right. It doesn't matter.
It's good or it's bad or it's
it does matter. Are you telling me that an infant hurting itself is not bad?
No. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to him because he does what he wants.
So, like I said, might makes right. And you refuse to answer the question, or you just did. It was just a really bad answer. You put a pistol in the crib of an infant, and you told a 1-year-old, don't pull the trigger. That infant has no knowledge of what that pistol can do. And the infant pulls the trigger and hurts itself. And you're saying it's nobody's fault. I hope everyone who watches this video writes what you said down. And this is worth the headache that I'm getting.
Yeah, look, it's cool. It's cool because
no, it's not cool. It's not cool that you put a pistol in the crib of it. I've listened to you, and your answer is terrible.
If you're the one that made the baby, listen, no, it could sound terrible in your ears. That one doesn't really matter.
No, it does matter. Everyone listening to this will agree with me. It's terrible that you don't think it's anyone's fault that an adult put a pistol in the crib of a 1-year-old. That's no different than your God telling two people who can't tell right from wrong a right and wrong decision, and they failed. But some way, somehow, it's not God's fault. That's exactly what you just told me. What's that?
Yeah, I'm asking you, why do you think it's God's fault?
Because God put the pistol. Why do you think God? I will answer that question. Because God put a pistol.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. I like to hear.
God put a pistol in the crib of an infant and told an infant, don't pull the trigger. A 1-year-old, a literal 1-year-old eats, it takes a crap, it cries, and it sleeps. It has no knowledge of what that pistol is capable of doing. Now, if I gave you, I think you told me you're 23. If I gave you a loaded pistol, and I told you, my man, if you put that thing to your body and pull the trigger, you're going to hurt yourself. You have the ability to understand what I'm saying and put the pistol down. The 1-year-old doesn't have that ability. Adam and Eve, they're the 1-year-old. They don't have the ability to understand right and wrong. And God put a pistol in the shape of a tree next to them and said, don't pull the trigger. And they pulled the trigger. And you're saying it's nobody's fault. I'm saying bullshit. It's God's fault for putting a pistol in the crib of a 1-year-old. Go ahead.
Are you done? Are you done? Can I talk without getting interrupted now?
Am I done? Did you catch everything I just said?
Yeah, are you done elaborating? Yeah, I everything.
Then go ahead.
Piece of information.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm saying, look, do you know that right now, we have robots and artificial intelligence that we are trying to test in a way. We try to provoke them sometimes to see how they will react. How is that different from playing God? Could you answer that? How is this any different from playing
I can answer that. I can answer that.
The robot's not going to kill itself.
Yes, no one's going to get hurt. That's how it's different.
That's what you think. That's what you think. What makes you think that the robot won't get hurt?
Okay, fine. Let's say the robot. Fine. Let's say the robot kills itself. The robot kills itself. It does every effing robot on the planet deserve to go to hell and be tortured forever because one robot made a bad choice? Because that's what Adam and Eve did according to the Bible.
Can I answer that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Can I answer that?
Yes, you may.
All right. So this is my answer to all this.
Please.
I'm saying he's the one that made everything.
I know
what
that.
he chooses to do with his creation, he's not subject to anyone's laws. He's not subject to any. He doesn't owe anyone an explanation.
Okay.
Do you get it? If I stand here, look, I'm a programmer. Do you get it? I design robots and stuff. If I sit down, write a Python code, upload it to my server, run it on a robot, and it's doing something I don't like, I could choose to disconnect the robot. Do you get it? No one could question the morality of my decision because I'm the one that picked it, that made the robot from scratch. Do you get it? If someone helped God to create us, he could have had a say, oh God, what you're doing is not good. But he's the one who made everything. Do you get it? He's all knowing, he's all powerful. So what makes you think that he owes you an explanation? If he decides to condemn everyone to hell?
You know what? That's fine.
I can answer this one real quick.
So can I.
If that is what your God is, then he's no better than the devil. Not a tiny bit.
He's a mafia boss.
Yes. And he's worse.
Are you done? Can I comment on that one?
Yes.
Can I comment on that one?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So you know God created everything, right? He sits above everything else. So this concept of the devil, it's even a fallacy in my ears to try to compare the creator to the creation. Do you get it? Because no matter how you look at it, he's always going to be bigger than everything. Because look, let me you see, it's better when you understand neural networks and programming a little bit.
There's one problem. There's one problem with this explanation.
I know the back. Wait.
Hold on.
Yeah,
there is one terrific problem. There's one terrific problem with this explanation. Every time you say you know God created everything, I'm thinking you don't even know that. Because you can't demonstrate that. And I have a tiny trick that I would like to do, and then I think we need to end this, and we can come back for another show and continue, because I really like the conversation so far, even though not all points are great. But so I would like to demonstrate to you that I can read your mind, and I can demonstrate it. Are you up for that?
Demonstrate what exactly?
I can demonstrate to you that I can read your mind. I can show that to you, just to show you the difference between believing and knowing. I have a deck.
Yeah,
I have
like to see that.
I have a deck of cards.
That sounds like a cool magic trick.
Okay, I have a deck of cards. It's hard to tell. Can you see they're different cards? Can you see that?
Wait, as a matter of fact, I think I have a change of fact. I would not like to.
Can you see those cards? Can you see those cards? Hold on. Can you see those cards are different?
Yeah, about that.
It's a little bit difficult to see because of the light, I'll put another card. Can you see those are different? Every time I pick up, I got a different card. Okay. I'm going to make 2 stacks. Okay? Want this one or this one? You tell me stop. Tell me stop. You say stop.
You know,
No, you just say stop. I don't really see. You just say stop whenever you want.
I think I'm going to chicken out for now.
No,
I'm going to chicken out.
Say stop.
Yeah. I really need to. Which
part of the deck?
So I think it was.
No, I want to do this because I want to demonstrate knowledge to you.
Peter, you can't read my mind.
Do you want me?
There's no.
Do you? Okay,
it's not possible.
Pick one. The top or the bottom? Pick one.
The top.
The top?
The one to your right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to put the top.
Yeah. Wait,
okay. I'm going to tell you what cards you picked. You picked the 8 of hearts. And I will turn it with one hand. It's hard to tell, I think. Can you see it's the 8 of hearts?
And that's not you. Is that I don't think okay, well.
It's the 8 of hearts. I'm going to put it on top. I'm going to pick half of the deck up, put it on the bottom, put this on the top. Do you know what the top card is?
Nope.
I do. It is the 8 of hearts. That's a difference between belief and knowledge. I know. So
there.
I really want to end it.
And you know that's why I keep saying whatever you know or don't know.
What you know,
really,
what I'm
affect who God is and how powerful He is.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is that
He's God regardless.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is that what I know, I can demonstrate, I can show you, and I don't care. I pick up the cards, I put them aside, put the other one on top, and I still know what the bottom of what the top card is, because the top card is the 8 of hearts. And it will be the 8 of hearts. No matter how often I do this, it will be the 8 of hearts. And the cards are different.
Yes. And
there are no. See, the cards are different.
Yeah.
And each time I take the top off, and I put it on the bottom, and the top card will still be. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. So Peter, you know your card, right?
Okay.
So God also
and that's the difference between. And that's the difference.
It's like that.
What I'm trying to say. Kojo, hold on. What I'm trying to say. That's the difference between knowledge and belief.
Peter knows his cards inside out. And God also knows us inside out.
God knows absolutely nothing. God created a universe with 2 perfect people who weren't perfect. God didn't even know what He was creating at the time.
Believe it or not, we are perfect. You see, wait. Listen,
we're not.
God created us in His image, so it's. Don't tell me God didn't know.
How do you know
He knew
this?
what He created and He knew it was good.
What I'm trying to ask is, you keep stating that. What you can't state is how you know this. And the reason why you can't tell us how you know this is because you don't know. You believe. And there's difference between belief and knowledge.
what do you call it? Knowledge, wisdom is all great. You get it, but nothing disputes the fact that God is God regardless. That's my point. Like, no matter
Which
whether you
one?
choose to believe it or not, no matter the creator of everything, he's the one I'm referring to right now.
Zeus?
Whatever you believe, whatever you don't believe, it doesn't change that fact, and that's everyone's reality. It doesn't get realer than that. Everyone is going to face judgment. Me, you, Peter, everyone. You get it? So it's supposed to humble us. It's supposed to give us a sense of fear to seek God while we still can. Because in as much as you think you are not special because God hasn't called you, it's not true. Right now you are faced with a choice to either choose God or to deny Him. So it's
But
really
it's
up
not
to
a
you
choice.
to
You
choose
even
the
said
right
it's
choice.
not. If God has a plan, I'm
I
gonna
said
keep drilling this down. If God has a plan, He has an unchanging plan. There is no changing that plan. And if me and Peter are gonna die as atheists, there is no choice in the matter. You can't have it all
Let me ask you a
952
question.
ways. If God has, how about this? Before we end this, I'm going to ask you a simple yes or no question. Does God have a plan?
Sure. It's usually not that simple, but
No. Does God have a plan?
it's usually not that simple. But
It
yes,
is that simple. Take it from a former
no, it's not.
fundamentalist. I'm asking you, does God, because every Christian, when they come across this question, because they know where it goes, they do exactly what you're doing. So I'm asking you, does God have a plan? Because you've said it before, and you're backtracking. Does God have a plan? This really isn't that
Yes.
hard of a. Okay, yes. Can anything be done? Is there any prayer? Is there anything that I can do to change that plan?
Yes.
Okay, then your God is not all powerful. And this is what me and other atheists and other people say. The Omni package on some level negates itself. Because if some guy with gets on his knees at Mount Zion Baptist Church and says a prayer to change God's mind, then God does not have an unchanging plan. You just told me God has a plan, then you just told me that we can change it.
Listen.
I'm
Listen.
listening.
When I said God, relax. Listen. Let me explain. When I said God chooses to bring someone towards Him, I meant it in the sense that God is sovereign over everything and everyone.
Yeah, I've heard
So He
that.
has the ultimate say.
Does he have an? How about
Yeah,
this?
that's what I'm
How
saying.
about
He
this?
has the
Let me sum it up. Does God have an unchanging plan?
What do you mean by unchanging?
In other words, it cannot change. That no matter what you do, say, think, or feel, God's plan is going to come to fruition.
Yes. When you say
When I
God
say he
has
has an
a word, I mean
unchanging plan, I'm
what
saying
is
it cannot change under any
yes,
circumstances.
yeah.
So he does have an
When
unchanging
listen,
plan.
when what you're saying, could you let me finish? What you're saying refers to God's word. When God speaks a word, it is already done. You get it? When God what do you call it, speaks the word for sinners to burn in hell or lake of fire or wherever, it's already done. It's going to happen, whether it's going to take 1,000 years or
So
3,000
he
And
years.
has
well,
an unchanging plan.
That's the
sorry,
point.
People who are going to go to hell are going
stop,
to go to hell. Am I right?
stop, Robert, stop,
Go ahead.
stop,
Go ahead.
because
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm stopping.
now
I'm
we're
stopping.
People
no, Kojo, stop,
Peter's turn.
stop. We're back to preaching, and I told you we're not going to go to preaching. I'll make it a little bit easier for you.
why do you call this preaching?
I'll
It's
make it,
just a simple
Kojo, listen. I'll make it a little bit easier for you. Does God want everyone to know Him?
wait, could you come again?
Sorry?
Could you come again?
I said, does
Could you
God
rephrase that question again? I like to.
does God want everyone to know Him?
Yes,
Okay.
that's true.
Okay.
God wants everyone to know Him.
So what is keeping God from talking to me?
It's the same thing that is keeping you from not going on your knees to seek Him. It's the same. It's the
I am
same
seeking Him. I am
kind of.
Kojo. I'm here. I'm talking to you. I am seeking. What's keeping Him?
Sure.
What is easier, for you to convince me
As
that
a,
God exists, or for God to convince me that He exists? What's easier?
God doesn't. That's why I said God doesn't answer to anyone. He doesn't need to convince you that
Okay,
He's God.
if
Might
that's if
makes
Now,
that
right.
is if that
whether
Might
is
you
makes right.
hold on, if that is the case, then God does not want me to know Him. And I'm sorry, we're going to need to end the stream. We're 2 hours when we're yes 2 hours. So
It was a good call. It was a
it
good call.
it is, and I would really like to talk more because I, first of all, and this is something that I really mean, Kojo. This was tough at times. You didn't get mad. You didn't run away.
Mhm.
For that, you get major points because not every guest does that. When the going gets tough, you stick in there and you still stick around, even though it's tough at times. So for that, I really want to thank you. Um, we can come back and do another show, and probably not another 2 hour show because that's not good for the viewings. But I think we really need to end this. Um, so, um, Kojo, I want you to give your final thoughts about the conversation. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. It's cool. It's cool. When it comes to issues like this, people sometimes say that it's not good to argue and stuff, but I don't think it's the case because that is how we could answer our curiosities. There are so many people who walk about that don't even understand these little basic things. Like when you create something, you have absolute power to determine its fate and all that. That's what people don't know. I believe every human being was created for God's pleasure, some way, somehow. Whether you're created to be glorified or you're created to perish, you are going to please God in a way. So how you're going to end up, it all depends on you. It's a book of blank pages that you could decide to fill it with, however you want your story to end. But God is always willing for you to come towards Him if you only believe and have faith in Jesus Christ. He's always available. That's the little I can say. So everyone was made to glorify God. Everyone was made to please God. So just keep that in your mind. So to God, there's not really a subject of good. This guy is bad. This guy he did this. No, God is just doing what He wants to do because He wants to do it, and no one can question Him about that. And He's perfect. Whatever
Okay.
God chooses to do is perfect, and
Okay.
His level of perfection is unparalleled. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a thing.
I still disagree with you on the perfect side. I don't think we're going to flesh that out anytime soon.
It's all good though.
Um, Robert, I really want to thank you for being here, complete
Yeah,
with headache
absolutely.
and all. Um, so we have to end this, and Kojo, I really want to have you back at some time and
Excuse
continue
me.
continue the conversation. No worries. So I'm hoping that we can have you back on the channel someday, and we still need to talk about doing a topical show as well because there are some ideas that I do agree with you on, and we need to do a show about that as well. So I want to thank everyone in the side chat. We had a few trolls that were taken care of. So I want to thank Tony Designs for taking care of the trolls. And I would say until next time, and keep in mind, truth has nothing to fear from inquiry. Catch you all later.
True.
Bye.
Peace.